I've already pushed through that iron door. The outside was completely locked shut. With the strength of the three of us, it is simply impossible to push it away. Don't waste your energy. Hurry and search for clues to escape. I just observed the corner of this room. That dehumidifier was still running. This means there is absolutely no complete power outage here. As long as there is still electricity supply, the electronic gate will definitely be unlocked. What you said was easy. This level of defense system. What use is electricity alone? It was as if he had been deliberately locked in solitary confinement. I picked up my car in the garage after work. Suddenly, the back of his head was hit, and completely lose consciousness. Supervisor Zhou, please stop immediately. This pointless complaint. There must be some hidden purpose. I think Lu Yuan's analysis is spot on. In the crack in the floor, I found half a table of open cards. Its material closely resembles a kind of backup access identification card. Take a close look, everyone. The red anti-counterfeit mark on the edge of this card. This is definitely not something used in an ordinary office building. It is more like a core RD lab. Only then will it be equipped. This red anti-counterfeit mark. I had seen it once. Last year, when the group acquired the abandoned chemical plant in the southern suburbs. The handover confidential file folder bore exactly the same symbol. That abandoned chemical plant was the highest secret within the group that was forbidden to discuss. Zhou Ming, as the logistics supervisor. How could they possibly be involved in the transfer of the archives? I absolutely did not deliberately hide anything. That day was simply because all the archive staff were on leave. The boss suddenly took me as a laborer. He wanted to move a few boxes. I really just caught a glimpse by chance. This room definitely hides a hidden card reader. Everyone carefully searched around. This is the bottom edge of the metal cabinet. The paint colors here are noticeably newer than elsewhere. There was also a faint indicator light in the gap. But aside from the card's swipe grass on it, there was even a 4-digit numeric key next to it. Isn't that identification card enough to open the door? According to the laboratory's usual security logic, that card usually only handles physical prior validation. Next to the numeric keypad is the user's identity verification. Both of these verification steps are absolutely indispensable. The yellow indicator light turned on, representing the physical 1,000 successful systems. However, the backlight of the numeric keypad also turns on. Countdown flashing state. We must enter the correct 4-digit password within 2 minutes. 2 minutes. It was simply impossible to guess a 4-digit password out of thin air. We couldn't even find any information about the number of figures. Are we going to be trapped here to death? Since the card was found in a crevice beside the ground. So many clues. It's very likely hidden in those old newspapers. Look, this is news about the chemical plant explosion. There are several special Chinese characters inside. Read the 4 Chinese characters together. It was precisely a hopeless moment of survival. These 4 words are definitely no coincidence. She must be tempted by the conversion code. How can these 4 characters be converted into a numeric password? By the time of the scheduled time, a full minute had passed. None of us are professional interpreters. This kind of complex puzzle is practically forcing people to wait for death. This is not a complicated decoding at all. Instead, it's a very simple stroke conversion in Chinese characters. The new characters have 5 strokes in total. So counting numbers must mean nothing. I see. This is truly a clever approach. The second character still needs strokes. There are a total of 7 strokes. The third character has none, only 4 strokes. The last character, 4, Wang, has 11 strokes. Good. So you can only take the last digit. 1, 5, 7, 4, 1. I had already double-checked these 4 numbers in my mind. There was no problem. The time is running out. We have no way out. You can only gamble. Directly earning income. Since the mastermind behind the scenes has gone to great lengths, leave this report for us as a clue. Then this stroke code is absolutely the only correct way to live. Everyone took a step back. Beware of traps and traps. The red light on the keyboard went out. Immediately after, a green traffic indicator light turned on. If I had entered the wrong thing earlier, they'll definitely be released with poison gas. Listen carefully. A heavy sound of gears clinking came from inside the iron gate. This means the first physical blockade line has been completely lifted, since we have no way out. So all I can do is push him aside and face all the harsh truths. The door was pushed open, but the smell of cooling water inside was overwhelmingly strong. Everyone must remain extremely vigilant. Slowly walk in. You walk right in the middle. Never fall behind. Look, what's really behind this door? The figure leaning against the glass corner of the wall remained calm. It was a dummy with a professional secret tattoo, dressed in extremely dirty professional attire. But on the dummy neck, they even wear our group's senior employee pass, even if it's just a plastic model. But this kind of cruel joke is just too terrifying. Now I always feel like there are eyes in the darkness. He was watching our every move intently. Your intuition is spot on. Look at the surveillance camera with the red light flashing in the corner of the ceiling. The mastermind behind the scenes is indeed monitoring the game, and all the vents here have been welded shut. Since it's a carefully designed game, we can only keep moving forward. Come take a look at this experimental bench. On top of it were 3 glass beakers filled with liquids of different colors. Never touch these things casually. Judging by this pungent smell, it definitely contains a high concentration of corrosive acid. A slight misstep can completely ruin the skin. Since it is a high-strength corrosive acid, then the paper slips at the bottom definitely won't be able to be taken out. Maybe we should just go to that model dummy. Let's see if there are other exit keys. I just looked carefully, and haven't you noticed? On the iron door of this room, is there a very special combination lock? Lu Yuan, take a close look at the order of those 3 beakers. This is similar to the violent explosion at the chemical plant 6 years ago. The 3 original chemical reagents listed have identical colors. Ha 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 ha. Suli, what nonsense are you talking about? We are ordinary employees at the group headquarters. How could they possibly know about such a remote area from 6 years ago? What about the colors of top-secret chemical reagents in chemical plants? 6 years ago, you weren't even the head of the logistics department. Scold. It's the director of the equipment procurement department at the chemical plant where the incident happened, right? What nonsense are you spouting? I did spend some time in the factory at that time. I was already transferred back to headquarters for training. Your transfer order was only hastily issued the day after the explosion. He was the first witness. I beg you, never bring up that incident from back then. I admit I was on site at the time. But the order to buy low-quality dusty views is important. It's simply not something I can decide. Since you are present, then you must know the safe neutralization sequence of these 3 reagents. We have to pour them into the waste liquid pool next to it. Only then can you take out the shredded paper underneath. Back then, it was precisely because of illegal mixing that disaster was triggered. I remember blue liquid is the most stable catalyst. It must be poured out first. Otherwise, it will instantly produce highly toxic gases. Zhou Ming, you'd better make sure your memory is absolutely accurate. Medicinal food is stored in this completely decomposed space. Once a highly toxic gas appears, the 3 of us couldn't even last a minute. You must go a bit slower. This is definitely no joke. Back then, I saw them with my own eyes. It's because it's too fast, triggering an extremely terrifying equipment disaster. I don't want to repeat the same mistakes here. No abnormal reactions occurred. It seems you, this old fox, still vividly remember the operation process from back then. Zhou Ming, tell me, which of the remaining horizontal colors or demonic colors was the real trigger? I really can't remember clearly. I only remember the lab was filled with dazzling red light. Everyone was frantically pressing the alarm. If you have to choose, it should be the bottle glowing dark yellow. It represents a high-risk chemical leakage warning. This shows that the red liquid is the most dangerous detonator. He had to stay until the end to be safely dumped. Zhou's supervisor, it is definitely not a safety item. If I'm wrong, then the 3 of us will die together with those innocent victims. Zhou Ming, you hypocritical traitor. Surprisingly, no poisonous gas was released. You won the bet. Those red liquids are the correct transition agents. It's terrible. I never want to recall that hellish night back then. Patterns pieced together on paper pieces. It turned out to be a detailed magnetic pole layout orientation map. We can finally get out of this hellish place. But look, the central host screen of this monitoring room. Only 15 minutes left on the countdown. This defense uses the group's highest level accumulation algorithms. Even if I'm a tech hacker, if you don't have the electric head jade, forcing armor break takes at least 3 full days. 3 days, and we can't even last 15 minutes. We'll be blown to ashes. This was a carefully orchestrated silencing. I knew those higher-ups never intended for us to leave alive. Stop spreading panic. Zhou's supervisor, Since the mastermind behind the scenes has left a countdown, this means there must be a way to stop immediately. Suri still bears the marks of desperate defense and destruction. This groove is not meant for plugging or unplugging data cables. It is more like an extremely old fingerprint authentication device, because the chief engineer responsible for the safety system of this chemical plant, before the explosion, it was forcibly held down in the verification homeland. Those dark red marks. It was the trace of despair he left behind, risking his life back then. This kind of thing is reported in the group's investigation report. It was never mentioned at all. Who are you? Do you know that chief engineer? The chief engineer who died tragically as a scapegoat. It was my father. That's why I infiltrated the group as an investigator. All just to uncover the truth you completely covered up back then. It turns out you had been underperforming for 6 years. All to find an opportunity for revenge. But now, Chu Chi needed his instructions to finish the brush. Where do we look? This is a deadlock that can never be resolved. It was not a dead end. Just use it naturally to absorb the optical drive. This completely bypasses the CAPTCHA. Then what are you still doing? Quickly insert the disk. Stop the countdown. As soon as the door opened, I immediately reported the mastermind of that year to the group. I promise I'll testify for you in court. Your guarantee is worthless to me. Zhou supervisor. What I need now is that real ledger you hidden. Only by obtaining that concrete evidence. That's why I hand over the disk. I can't understand what you're saying. Those real ledgers had already burned to ashes when they detonated. If you want evidence, go straight to the higher-ups. What use is forcing me, a logistics supervisor, to do anything? Still stiff. I just checked the footage. I found that you have been using a furniture document all these years, extorting huge hush money from senior management. That document was definitely the account book photo preserved from back then. It's useless. That ledger isn't here at all. I hide it outside. There are 8 minutes left on the countdown. Since you said the ledger is gone, then let's quietly wait for Wei Yue. Just right. I also feel like trapping a traitor like you here. Waiting for sanctions is also a good outcome. Unleashing a powerful electronic pulse strong enough to destroy all electronic devices. We will be completely locked away in this lifeless grave of the Ding family. 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Once time hits 0, don't give up on me. I'm honest. I always carry that half-burned, original bill with me. This is the ledger you want. It records the transaction records of purchasing inferior equipment and signatures from top management. As long as he is here, we can overturn the case and save you. This battle is stained with evidence of countless people's blood. Finally, it has seen the light of day again. As long as the disk bypasses physical verification. Verification has been passed. The countdown to the end of the season stopped completely. Sully moved quickly. There must be absolutely no time left for the Obey security system to defend. Data is being transmitted at full speed. The protective wall has been successfully torn open. Only 20 seconds left to take the test. The exam is complete. But listen carefully. It seemed as if a piercing alarm was coming from the corridor outside. Oh no, this is definitely the beginning of the hot spring of physics. The highest level of alert from security forces. They definitely rushed over with their tools. We must leave this surveillance control room immediately. Ignore the alarm and focus on the sound. Even if he couldn't get out, I also had to send this core evidence to the Industry Compliance Committee. Progress has reached 95%. Security forces are cutting through the outer gate. There were less than 10 seconds left. As long as the progress is fully completed after this backup escape is completed, the door will open automatically immediately. I must ensure my safety. If it falls into the hands of Mali's senior management, they must be extremely ruthless. Take revenge on me. Take me away. You scoundrel who betrays your conscience. Not worthy of bargaining with me. I will only hand you over for judgment. Xia Dai finished. All the core evidence of crime has been safely stored in my real notebook. The hidden storage room door lock behind the control room has been detected. Let's immediately retreat inside and prepare to break out. Security is about to break down the main gate. Zhou Ming, you go at the front. If you dare to turn back, don't blame me for being rude. Behind the door of this storage room, this is definitely our last chance at survival. Quickly lock the heavy blast-proof door behind him completely. Those armed security guards outside, definitely equipped with high-strength, hot cutting tools. The footsteps in the corridor outside grew denser and denser. They will soon break open the entire gate. Lu Yuan, you just promised. Just hand over the ledger. Will definitely leave me a way out. Your jade will be decided by the security outside. Since you deliberately want to drive me to the brink, then don't blame me for fighting you to the bitter end. No one could even think of walking out with that bill. The character Tian in the ledger is not only for the upper echelons. If you really hand this evidence over to the Industry Regulatory Association, I will definitely spend the rest of my life completely in the long wind and sand. Zhou's supervisor, I advise you to put away your ridiculous threats immediately. You have absolutely no chance of winning, even if we don't do it. The high-temperature cutting machine outside the door will also penetrate completely within 10 minutes. I'm afraid even losing means losing everything. When you were just testing the data, surely there hasn't been time to completely cut off the internal network of this room yet. What exactly do you want to do? Even if the internal network isn't cut off, you haven't even confirmed to operate. True venerable. Never dream of contacting security personnel outside via the internet. If I press him down, the countdown that just stopped will jump straight to 0. The three of us were instantly trapped. Zhou Ming, do you really think I wasn't on guard at all? We entered this storage room just now. I had already observed in advance. The pre-trial situation of the switch had long been broken. This is absolutely impossible. You simply don't have time to do such tricks. This must be another trick you played to deceive me. When you tore off your shirt just now to take out the account book, I had already pinned it off with my nail, almost covertly. That worn, exposed power cord. It's completely over. I've used up all my trump cards. You two devils. From the very beginning, he schemed against me completely. Lu Yuan, how exactly do you plan to deal with this useless person now? I don't need to punish you. This voice recorder. All the violations you just admitted to have been recorded. This is what can send you to a hearing or meeting. The ultimate chains of acceptance of judgment. Now is not the time for Lu Yuan to settle accounts. Listen carefully. The eager banging outside the gate suddenly stopped. This indicated that the security forces were about to carry out the demolition. Breaking through the gate. We must immediately find a truly hidden exit of the storage room. The dust marks at the bottom of these boxes were extremely unnatural. They had clearly been heavily dragged by someone recently. If Zhou Ming didn't want to be arrested and severely punished. So I came over to help move the box. Our stamina is extremely limited right now. We must work together, even if the passage is opened. I can't get far either. He was extremely nervous just now. It almost made my heart attack worse. Once I'm out, hand me over directly to the association. Outside, the echo of the water flowed by. This is definitely the lifeline leading to the city's waste disposal system. Zhou Ming, this time you're in charge again. Walk slowly at the front. You want me to scout ahead and clear the mines, right? There might still be toxic gas left behind inside the knife, or hidden deadly traps set in advance by security personnel. I absolutely won't be cannon fodder. The blasting outside the gate was about to begin. If you refuse to scout, the high voltage above is enough to instantly make you lose the ability to move. When the time comes, we'll make you a traitor. He was completely at ease and threw it outside. Those armed security forces who had gone completely mad. I'm climbing. I'm going to take advantage of you devils right now. If I really got stuck inside the pipeline, the most desperate curse of my life, I will never let you go. I'll go in and figure out the way out. That coward Lu Yuan had already gone inside. Have you confirmed that your half-burned ledger and my electric drill data are properly prepared? This is the entire truth we gained from this escape journey. I've already put close to my body. This evidence was obtained at countless cost. At most 30 seconds left before the gate is destroyed. We must keep up now. Wait until we send the greedy top brass to the hearing. Everything was completely over. I have already set a scheduled sending program for Tianzhuan. If something happens to us, the data will be publicly released to the entire internet. As long as there is a glimmer of hope, we absolutely cannot give up easily. Here, the end of the passage is always the final exit. Let's go. To welcome that dawn of justice that has been delayed for a full 6 years. We're completely ruined now. At the end, this heavy iron gate. Sure enough, it was firmly locked by an extremely complex electronic password. And there isn't even a card slot on top. Yes. Since it's an electronic lock, it will definitely be able to crack. Take a close look at how many numeric keys there are on the password disk. We must catch up before the pursuers arrive from behind. Open this door completely. Digital reels become extremely difficult to weaken due to rust. You just can't turn it all. Since it's a 6-digit password, this is definitely not a random loss level number. Think carefully about the whole matter. The original source. It was the catastrophic explosion case from many years ago. But the exact date of the explosion case, I really can't remember. That day I was extremely panicked. His mind was completely blank. I roasted all the core donkeys of the monitoring room host. That tragedy happened 6 years ago, on October 24th. Lu Yuan. Hurry up and have Zhou Ming try entering this 6-digit password. October 24th. That is 1024. Zhou Ming, turn the numeric dial on the combination lock right now. I really booked 1024 correctly, but the latch showed no sign of popping open. This password is definitely wrong. How could there be a mastermind behind the scenes? Pushing us step by step, we led them here. All clues point to the explosion from years ago. There's no way to set up an unsolvable and desperate maze. Since the date is not the correct answer, that means the core test of this game is being tested, not mourning the disaster itself. Instead, it aims to uncover the corrupt secrets behind the disaster, which have been heavily concealed. You still have the mood to play riddles here. Those people were about to rush into the ventilation ducts. They will definitely take control of all of us. Please, come up with another password. I think I finally understand. This half-burned raw stone bill. It records all the core data. This is the most direct and fundamental trigger for the tragedy. You mean the real password. In fact, it is hidden within this criminal bill. But the numbers on the bill were extremely complicated. Which sum of money can become the final key to the door? 742,000. It turned out that the person behind all this was the high-ranking official involved. He actually had already obtained a photocopy. They want to take the opportunity to completely lock us in, covering up the violation here. No matter who arranged this escape room game. Zhou Ming. Stop talking nonsense. 742000. All the numbers have been perfectly aligned. But why did this damn door still remain silent? Could it be that even this password was missed? This is the ancient mechanical combination lock. Besides digital alignment, usually a physical confirmation action is also required. Take a close look at the side of the combination dial. There's a tiny lever. There really is a rusty metal pull rod. I'll pull it down right away. The exhaust duct finally came to an end. I heard the rally alarm. The Supreme Compliance Committee investigation team has definitely surrounded this area. Since the Hugaway group is already here, I was willing to be honest with them on my own, confessing to all hidden violations. As long as it gives me a quick finish, expel them as well. Industry bans are fine. I completely accepted the penalty. The place you need to go is the hearing. The seat of the gods receives judgment. Next comes the lengthy process of clearing up violations in the industry. Investigator Lu's cooperation this time was extremely thrilling. As long as injustice and corruption still exist in this world, the footsteps of our investigators will never truly stop. Let's go. Let us go and welcome a brand new dawn. The original account book. I've already handed it over to the highest leader here. They just compared the top secret data you sent to the channel for the top secret data you sent. All the amounts were exactly the same. This is truly the best possible outcome. The officer outside said. Zhou Ming had just been in the Gree chat room next door. He actually began to shirk responsibility in an extremely frenzied manner. Blame all violations on higher-level leaders. Zhou Ming, such an utterly hypocritical coward. To protect himself, he would make up any lie. But he had no idea. I had already left my core trump card in the secret chamber to completely nail him down. Are you talking about that mini voice recorder? However, the secret room environment was extremely noisy and chaotic at the time. I was very worried about that recording as evidence at the hearing. They may face extremely strict questioning. Back then, it was really just those hateful high-level officials who coerced me. I can absolutely be the core insider witness at the hearing. Lu Yuan, you just promised me in person. As long as I help you get out of that secret room, you'll definitely leave me a way out. But how exactly should the industry fairly sanction your violations? This is simply outside my jurisdiction. What I was doing was just venting in despair. There was no substantial physical damage to the equipment at all. You two are extremely vicious devils. Since the abandoned lab, they have been scheming against me ever since. I originally thought that as long as I handed over that lousy bill, I can completely exchange it for my safety. No one bears heavy responsibility for violations. Absolute forgiveness can be exchanged for compromise alone. You must be the cold-blooded bystander and accomplice of your own years, paying an extremely heavy price. This recorder is the core audio and text evidence. The transaction will be completed tomorrow morning and on time. To the chairman of the industry's highest arbitration committee, it will be completely crushed in the face of absolute facts. I truly realized I was wrong. If only I had been a little braver back then. Come forward and report them. Perhaps that extremely violent explosion would never have happened. So many innocent workers wouldn't have to be implicated. It's already too late for you to shed crocodile tears now. 6 years ago, you were already firmly standing against justice. Absolutely unforgivable. Your violation quickly entered the industry-wide reporting process. All the extremely harsh slander and unfair treatment my father endured back then will ultimately be thoroughly cleansed at the hearing. Willing to give a full explanation. We only hope the compliance committee will be extremely lenient in determining responsibility. I contributed to the core ledger. Commissioner, this person's mental defenses had completely collapsed. You can immediately take him back to the conversation room. Record extremely detailed statements of violations. He absolutely wouldn't dare hide anything anymore. The most foolish decision I've ever made in my life. Today, I was extremely unlucky to step into the same building as you. Xingya's rules do not implicate any extremely innocent ordinary person. But you have to stand alone in a complete blacklist. I have long reflected on your extremely terrible actions. He was extremely disheveled and was taken away by the commissioner. He seemed to age in an instant. 10 years old. This extremely thrilling life and death struggle in a locked room ended here. It finally brought an extremely perfect and absolutely compliant conclusion. We have finally succeeded in unveiling it. That secret scar that had been tightly hidden for a full 6 years was the scar. All of this would not have been possible without the courageous assistance of you, a top hacker. If you hadn't decisively cracked that surveillance host today, we absolutely can't even open that crucial iron gate. You are also extremely calm, quick, and complex in Chinese character passwords. I'm afraid when I first entered the archive room, he was already completely desperate and broke down. I can finally calmly shed this disguise. The father's deep injustice was cleared. It was the most significant victory of my life. Do you have any specific plans for the future? An investigator as extremely intelligent and extremely calm as you, if he were to retire completely, it's a real pity for the team seeking the truth. Just now, when I was checking the spare parts build data inside the drill equipment, I actually found a ladder at the very end of the main program. There was also an extremely secret card bag hidden inside. Zhou Ming had just given a thorough explanation of all the procedures in the isolation room. Could it be that besides that broken physical ledger, do they have any other backup plans in this system? This is definitely not an ordinary backup plan. The reach level of this acceleration pack, it even surpasses the console's protective wall by 3 whole levels. He was named the mysterious 5th code by the system. The 5th password. There were only 4 main suspects in the chemical plant explosion that year, since the evidence against these 4 people has already been confirmed. So what exactly does this 5th place represent? The hidden characters still cannot decipher the specific content inside. But my intuition tells me this document is being protected with extreme protection. It definitely involves interests far greater than those of the abandoned chemical plant. No matter how large the capital chain is behind the scenes, as long as the violating network is still running, we must immediately dig it out completely. We absolutely cannot stop our pursuit of the truth. Since you, the fearless investigator, they had already made up their minds. So my technical backing, naturally, they will go all out to accompany them to the end. Let's go back to the safe house and check the data right now. Follow-up work for the compliance committee. Let the commissioners handle it. There are many people here. We are inconvenient. Let's continue to decipher further. Let's go. Always stay alert when picking up vehicles in the Pingzhong battlefield. The enemy was in the shadows. We are in the light. Just now, when Zhou Ming was taken away, I always felt there was an extremely cold gaze in the corridor outside, staring at us intently. You absolutely can't let your guard down. This means the fifth password. It had already been completely touched. Their most fundamental weakness. A safe house located on the edge of the city. There is no civilized equipment at all. Absolutely safe. Now we can take a closer look. The mysterious newspaper I just found in the parking lot. But what tiny clue was hidden in the bottom line? I just used ultraviolet equipment to view it from all angles. The surface contains no toxins or biosignatures. Inside, it was just an extremely ordinary white invitation. Only a small line of black ink printed in the middle was a single line. The answer to the fifth code is hidden in the most classic of the abyss. The signature was an extremely strange pattern. It looks like a bird with broken wings. This extremely deliberately mysterious way of expression. This perfectly fits the style of the group hidden behind the scenes. They are openly inviting us for the next time. I just remembered it suddenly, when we took away that GG Brothers bag from Shenzhou. His Jiantu construction and logical segmentation. It happened to match the pattern of this broken-winged flying bird. They're extremely similar rubbings. It was definitely not ordinary paper. It was actually the physical tool that unfastened the emergency lid and bag. We must immediately cross-check. I have high-precision scanning of the patterns on the invitations, and directly on the road to understand the matter. Now, it is beginning to be logically reorganized with electronic antiquity extremely slowly. You need to help me keep a close eye on the screen. The tape is being peeled away layer by layer at an extremely rapid pace. The truth hidden at the very bottom of the abyss. Finally, it was fully revealed. This is truly an enormous and terrifying fate list. The online list involves the level of people involved, far beyond what we could have imagined. Lu Yuan. It turns out the real game is only just beginning. Behind the fifth password, it was an extremely terrifying empire.